Namaste and good evening. Welcome to the NENCID Talk program. My name is Jigyasha Rai Yangkhurung, an Executive Committee member of Nepal National Committee on Irrigation and Drainage NENCID. I would like to start the program with a short background on NENCID. NENCID is the National Committee of ICID, International Commission on Irrigation and Drainage. It was established in 1950 AD and Nepal has been a member of ICID since 1973. Membership of ICID consists of national committees who represent their countries for irrigation, drainage, or agriculture water management. National committees like NENCID generally include multidisciplinary professionals such as planners and policymakers, water managers, irrigation and agriculture engineers, research scientists, and educationists working in related areas. If you want to be a member of NENCID, please contact us at nencid.nepal@gmail.com or visit us at Department of Water Resources Irrigation, Jaulake, Lalitpur. NENCID has been organizing this talk program as a part of Irrigation and Drainage Talk series, which takes place every second Tuesday according to the Bikram Sambat calendar. Today's event is the 17th episode of this series. We will share the information regarding the 18th episode at the end of this event. So please stay with us till the end. Thank you for providing your love and support to this program. To make this program even better or to take this program even wider audience, please share this event to your professional network. Also follow our page on Facebook, NENCID, Nepal National Committee on Irrigation and Drainage. And likewise, please subscribe us on YouTube, NENCID Nepal. We will upload these videos of these episodes. All the episodes of the this NENCID Talk series are uploaded on YouTube, so you can watch any past episode which you have missed. So please give us your comments and suggestions so that we can make this program even more better. Now, before starting this main event, I'd like to state some of the ground rules. Today's session will be an hour long, and there will be panel discussion, which will be followed by question and answer round, and then there will be ending with the key takeaways. We request you to kindly mute your microphone, and we ask you to use the chat box to ask your questions or comments or to express your viewpoints. In order to share your opponents verbally, please unmute yourself before speaking. Now, with this brief background, I would like to invite Mr. Sanjeeb Baral, who is the Deputy Director General of Department of Water Resources Irrigation, who is also an ex-secretary from Ministry of Physical Infrastructure Development of Bagmati Province, to moderate the session and introduce the panelists. Baral sir, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jigyasha ji. First of all, welcome to this session. Today we are having discussions on addressing practical challenges in implementation of irrigation infrastructure in the federal context, and we have three very distinguished panelists over here. All of them are provincial secretary in different provinces. So I would like to welcome you all in this session. Actually, there are for implementation of the irrigation infrastructure in the federal context. However, to narrow down the discussion and to make this discussion fruitful, we are focusing on three key issues. First is achieving year-round irrigation targets. Second is about the policy harmonization issue among the province and the central government. And third one is implementation arrangement. So three issues we'll focus more. And for this this session, I would like to ask three key questions. First, I will ask first question, and then our distinguished panelists will share their views. And after their views, we'll have a question answer session for 20 minutes. And then after that, we'll conclude from our distinguished panelists. So I would like to briefly introduce today's panelists. I believe you all know them. However, now our first panelist is Dr. Santosh Kaini. He has 16 years experience in water. He worked as a chief of different water resources divisions, irrigation district offices. And he was a project manager of Kali Gandaki Tinau diversion project as well as Sikta irrigation project. He has completed MSc in water science and engineering from IHE, Delft, Netherlands, and he also completed a PhD in climate change impact in water resources and irrigation from Victoria University, Australia. Welcome, Dr. Santosh. And the second distinguished panelist is Mr. Tulasiram Bhattarai. He has worked as a senior divisional engineer in Department of Water Resources and Irrigation. He is chief in different water resource and irrigation divisions. He worked as a in very diversion multipurpose project also, and he has also completed MSc in geotech from NTNU. So welcome, Mr. Bhattarai. And our another distinguished panelist is Mr. Nabin Singh. We know him very well. He is a former Director General of Department of Electricity Development, DOED. He has more than 15 years experience in water resources and hydropower, environmental engineering sector. He has vast experience working in Saptagandaki, Saptakoshi, Sunkoshi Kamala, Pancheshwar, multi-purpose diversion projects, and lot of experience in this sector. He has completed a master's in water resources engineering from Belgium. Welcome, Navin sir, in this session. Without taking much time, I would like to enter into the today's discussion. I already shared. We will focus on three key issues in this session while talking about the challenges, practical challenges in the implementation of the irrigation infrastructure. So the first one is achieving year-round irrigation targets. So if we see the year-round irrigation targets, we talk about the irrigation year-round irrigation targets. We all know we have a long history in irrigation sector, and we have crossed different phases of irrigation development, starting from early development phase, intensive irrigation phase, infrastructure development phase to integrated development phase. However, if we see the current structures, different players entered, and the new phase, new way of irrigation development has been initiated. First issue is that. And second is we have developed the irrigation infrastructures, basic irrigation infrastructures in 1.5 million hectare of irrigable land out of 1.76 million hectare of land. However, only one third of the area has been irrigated, has been supplied around by the year-round irrigation system. In this context, I would like to put a question: how the provincial governments can complement this irrigation, year-round irrigation targets. So how we jointly can achieve the year-round irrigation in more and more lands available, agricultural lands available in the country to achieve the irrigation targets or national economic goals. So this question I would like to start with Dr. Santosh Kaini. Now, Dr. Kaini, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, sir. If you see the cultivated land in Gandaki province, the total cultivated land is around 370,000 hectares. And till now, we have developed irrigation infrastructures in around 137,000 hectares. If we see the year-round irrigation coverage, there is around around 47% of the irrigated area, that is around 65,000 hectares, has been provided with the year-round irrigation. And in the first 5-year plan of the Gandaki province, if we see the document, we are planning to cover the 50% of the irrigated area with the year-round irrigation in 2080 and 81. So in next 2 years, so we are planning to cover the year-round irrigation of around 50% of the irrigated area. So at present, we have covered the year-round irrigation around 47% of the irrigated area. So we are trying to achieve the year-round irrigation target of the Gandaki province. So in this regard, we are constructing the irrigation schemes, and then we have started to build scale dams, and we have started to work on it in Tanaw district. It covers around hectares of irrigated land. So and we are continuously working on the groundwater irrigation coverage as well. We don't have large scale intervention water transfer projects or reservoir type of project, but we are building new irrigation infrastructures in perennial rivers. So somehow they contribute to the year-round irrigation. Yeah. Okay,
great. Thank you. So the same questions to Mr. Tulasiram Bhattarai. So Mr. Tulsiji, the floor is yours. Please.
धन्यवाद हजुर म चाहिँ सुदूरपश्चिमको यो इयर राउन्ड इरिगेसनलाई कसरी प्रदेशले कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्न सक्छ भन्दाखेरि अघि गण्डकीको श्रीमान सज्यूले भने जस्तो सुदूरपश्चिममा करिब 3,28,000 हेक्टर चाहिँ खेती गरिएको जमिन भनेर डाटामा छ र अहिले 29% मात्रै जमिनमा चाहिँ 12 महिना सिँचाइ भएको अवस्था चाहिँ छ र यो 3 लाख भनेको हामीले 53% जतिमा मात्रै सिँचाइ सुविधा पुर्याउन सकेका छौं खेती गर्न योग्य सिँचाइ योग्य जमिनको। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ सुदूरपश्चिमको हाम्रो प्रोभिन्सको कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरि यो हाम्रो संघीय सरकारको जलसत्ता सिँचाइ विभागले सञ्चालन गरेका दुईटा ठूला राष्ट्रिय गौरवका आयोजनाहरू रानी जमरा कुलरिया र महाकाली सिँचाइ आयोजना यही प्रदेशमा पर्ने र मेजर हाम्रो दुईटा तराईका जिल्ला जहाँ चाहिँ 50% भन्दा बढी हाम्रो खेतीयोग्य जमिन छ ओभरअल प्रोभिन्सको, त्यो दुईटालाई चाहिँ यो दुईटा आयोजना चाहिँ सुरु भएपछि चाहिँ हाम्रो यो कभरेज चाहिँ एकदमै छिटो बढ्छ, इयर राउन्डमा जान्छ। र अर्को कुरा हामीले चाहिँ के गरिरहेछौँ भन्दाखेरि अलिकति ग्राउन्ड वाटरको पोटेन्सियालिटी पनि यो तराईका जिल्लाहरूमा एकदम धेरै राम्रो भएको भएर ग्राउन्ड वाटरले सप्लिमेन्ट गरेर पनि इयर राउन्ड बनाउन सक्ने अवस्था चाहिँ छ। त्यो भएर सर्फेसको सप्लिमेन्टको रूपमा ग्राउन्ड वाटरलाई पनि हामीले हेरिरहेछौँ एउटा कुरा। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अब इयर राउन्ड इरिगेसनमा कसरी जान सकिएला त यो प्रोभिन्स र सरकारहरू भन्दाखेरि अलिकति प्लानिङमा हार्मोनाइजेसन चाहिँ जरुरी देख्छु मैले। अहिले अलिकति यो प्लानिङ चाहिँ भनेको इन्टिग्रेटेड प्लानिङ गर्ने अनि इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट चाहिँ इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्न पायो भने बरु आफ्नो जुरिडिक्सन अनुसार त्यसले चाहिँ अलिकति उ गर्ला। र अर्को त्यो गर्नलाई जस्तो हामीले इरिगेसन मास्टर प्लान भनेर जुन हाम्रो ओभरअल नेसनल बन्यो भने प्रोभिन्सहरूको पनि प्रोभिन्सियल इरिगेसनको मास्टर प्लान चाहिँ चाहिन्छ। त्यो भयो भने चाहिँ यो इयर राउन्ड इरिगेसनको टार्गेट एचिभ गर्न चाहिँ सजिलो हुन्छ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ।
Thank you. We'll discuss more about the planning issue in the third question later on. However, thank you, Tulsiji. You highlighted the conditions and your focus on exploring the groundwater around irrigation. So the next, I would like to request Navin sir for highlighting the same question. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Sanjeeb ji. As far as the province number 1 is concerned, we have 7,83,000 hectares of agricultural land, which is about almost the 40% of the area of the province. Out of which only 3 lakhs hectare we are providing the irrigation facilities. As far as the target is concerned, in terms of per province, we don't have any target. We are following the target of the central government, I mean the federal government. But the main problem is that are we in a position to meet the target? That's the main question. Even though all the provinces are working together to meet the federal government target, but I think it is quite not impossible, but it is difficult to meet the target because of there are many constraints. So we can reach near the target, but we cannot fulfill the target. That's my one observation. As far as the how we are working is concerned, we are mainly focusing on the groundwater in the Tarai area, as well as in the hill area. We are focusing mainly on the lift irrigation projects with the solar system. So we are contributing to some extent in order to meet the target. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Navin sir. Actually, from the provincial secretaries, very encouraging views are coming. Mainly in all the province, like the groundwater focus on groundwater is we can see the focus, and also you highlighted the importance of lift irrigation system for these achievements. Yeah. So I would like to enter into the second question without taking time. The second issue is regarding the policy harmonization issue. As we know, the central government has been drafting a new policy after the federal structure, new irrigation policies on irrigation sector, as well as new irrigation act, which was drafted and submitted to the ministry for approval. We are hopeful in the coming days we will approve these policies and acts. However, if we see the provincial governments, some provinces has already like drafted the policies, and some, however, like the Gandaki provinces has already passed the Irrigation Act. So there are very wonderful things, innovative things regarding the irrigation development issues. So the issue is how we can harmonize these kind of policies to achieve the targets, as well as to have the same directional input in the irrigation sector. And at the same time, if we see we have divided the area-based thresholds for implementation of the irrigation projects by the central, provincial, and local government. However, it has not been fully implemented in a true sense. And third is the irrigation master plan has been prepared and identified the projects for central government, provincial government, and local government. However, it has not been properly implemented in a true sense. So in this context, I would like to put a question: how can we harmonize the policy at federal and provincial level for planning, programming, and implementation? Three aspects, considering the planning aspect, programming aspect and implementation aspect, how we can harmonize and how can we get better results in this sector. So, Dr. Santosh, now the floor is yours in this matter.
In terms of policy harmonization, first, federal government should launch the Irrigation Act, in my opinion. So it could be a guideline for the province and the local bodies. That is the first step, in my opinion. And then the second one is the, as you just mentioned about the Irrigation Master Plan of the federal government, the Irrigation Master Plan 2019. At province level, we are still trying to prepare the district-wise irrigation master plan, actually. So province level governments, in my opinion, till now, they are still in dilemma. I mean, they are not very clear about the irrigation development at district level. So there is no proper irrigation master plan focusing the district-wise priority list of the irrigation projects. One. Another one is the integrated aspect, the integrated projects that should be launched within a basin, river basin, or within the district. That is another aspect. And although the National Planning Commission has declared the jurisdictions of the federal, province, and the local bodies in terms of the command area coverage, it has not been properly followed, actually. So there should be a clear policy from the federal, province, and the local levels. If we see here in Gandaki province, even in one district, there are more than 160 projects with a budget less than 10 lakhs. So it should have been gone to the local bodies. It is not the priority of the province government for the development or maintenance of the irrigation projects with the budget having less than 10 lakhs. So there should be a policy harmonization among the federal, province, and the local bodies. And we are only focusing now about the federal and the province level, and we are still not taking the aspects from the government, from the local bodies, actually. So they should be integrated as well. And another aspect is the formation of the project bank, district-wise project bank of the irrigation projects. We are still lacking that part, in my opinion. And then another case here is a bit peculiar, I think, from other provinces. If we see in Mustang, most of the land is the public land. And what the local people, local farmers have done is they have prepared a group of the 15 or 20 people, and then they have planted the apple tree in the public land. So are we going to invest on public land for those farmers or not? Actually, it should be there should be a policy from the federal level, and then so we could also follow at the province level, whether we are going to invest in the public lands, or while we are only focusing on the private lands. If we see in our irrigation demand form, the farmers should fill up the irrigation demand form with their own land, and then the number of kita, and then the area coverage, and those things. That is another critical issue in Gandaki province, actually. So there should be a policy harmonization. There are other aspects as well. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tulsiji, now the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. वास्तवमा पोलिसी हार्मोनाइजेसनमा चाहिँ पहिलो कुरा त फेडरल लेभलको पोलिसीसँग नबाजिने गरी पोलिसीको फ्यामिलीहरू भनौँ, पोलिसी भनेपछि सबै पर्ने भयो, ब्रोड फ्यामिलीमै जाँदाखेरि एक्टहरू रेगुलेसनहरू बनाउने भन्ने नै हो। तर समस्या कहाँनिर भइरहेको रहेछ, हामीले पनि हाम्रो प्रदेशमा पनि हामीले ड्राफ्ट बनाइसकेका छौँ, सैद्धान्तिक सहमतिले चाहिँ अबको हाउसमा हामी पठाउँछौँ इरिगेसनको। अब कन्फ्युजन कहाँनिर भयो भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो इरिगेसनको छुट्टै एक्टै भएन। पहिलो कुरा त हाम्रो सङ्घीय नेपाल सरकारको छुट्टै एक्ट भएन। अहिले पनि जलस्रोत एक्टकै बेसिसमा भएन, र जलस्रोत एक्ट पनि फेरि रिभिजनमा चाहिँ तपाईँको चाहिँ त्यो जाने कुराहरू छ। यसले गर्दा पहिलो कुरा अनि नीति चाहिँ हाम्रो आयो। त्यो नीति त हरेक प्रदेशले फेरि छुट्टै नीति त स्पेसिफिक भयो मात्रै बनाउनु पर्ला, जलस्रोत सम्बन्धी।
हजुर।
मेरो भनाइ चाहिँ कहाँनिर भन्दा एउटा प्रदेशले बनाएको सिँचाइ ऐन र अर्को प्रदेशले बनाएको सिँचाइ ऐनको बिचमा ड्रास्टिकली फरक भयो भने भोलि हामीले त्यसमा पनि के भन्छ अहिले अरू सेक्टरमा पनि त्यो इस्युहरू आइरहेछ। कम्प्याक्टेबल नहोला है। अब यातायातमा पनि त्यस्तो इस्यु आएको भएर मैले जोड्न खोजेको। त्यसले गर्दा एउटा अम्ब्रेला अथवा एउटा स्केलेटन चाहिँ फाइनल हुनु पर्यो कि जस्तो कहीँ डब्ल्युएको कन्ट्रिब्युसन कुनै प्रदेशले बढी राख्ला, कुनैले कम राख्ला, यस्तो कुरा चाहिँ सङ्घबाटै गाइडेड हुनुपर्छ अथवा एउटा ऱ्यासनल बनाएर गर्नुपर्छ होला, एउटा रेन्ज फिक्स गर्ने अथवा त्यसको पनि केही एउटा मिनिमम जस्तो सङ्घीय मामलाले चाहिँ पालिकाहरूको लागि मोडेल लहरू, मोडेल एक्टहरू बनाइदिन्छ। त्यस्तो कुराहरूमा पनि लिड मिनिस्ट्रीहरूले गर्नु पर्ला, जुन हाम्रो विषयगत मन्त्रालयहरूले भन्ने मेरो एउटा कुरा, जसले गर्दा पोलिसीमा हार्मोनाइजेसन होस्, पहिलो कुरा। अर्को कुरा प्रोग्रामिङमा चाहिँ समस्या छ। अब अघि गण्डकीको सजिलो भनिसक्नुभयो, प्रोग्रामिङमा त यति धेरै समस्या छ कि अब एउटै खोलामा तीनटै सरकारले काम गरिरहेछ, एउटै खोलामा अथवा एउटै आयोजनामा। अब यसलाई चाहिँ कहीँ न कहीँ डोमेन चाहिँ हाम्रो डोमेन त एउटै हो, जसले जहाँ गरे पनि अब त्यो फिजिकल डोमेन त एउटै हो जोग्राफिकली, तर त्यसलाई चाहिँ अलिकति जुरिडिक्सन चाहिँ मिलाउनुपर्छ, जसले गर्दा अरू ओभरल्यापिङ डुप्लिकेसनका कुराहरू चाहिँ ऊ होला भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ। र यो अर्को एउटा इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ के चाहिँ यो पोलिसीमा जस्तो मलाई भन्नु मलाई जस्तो सुदूरपश्चिम प्रदेशमा चाहिँ हामीले पिएडिएस चाहिँ बनायौँ के, बनिसक्यो, एप्रुभै भइसक्यो। भन्न खोजेको अर्थ जस्तो एग्रिकल्चर डेभलपमेन्ट स्ट्राटेजी बन्यो भने त्यसको समहाउ त्यसको बेसिसमा भन्दा प्रदेशले त्योसँग नबाजिने गरी प्रोभिन्सियल चाहिँ एडिएस बनिसक्यो, एप्रुभ भइसक्यो भने अब हाम्रो इरिगेसनको सेक्टरको पनि अथवा वाटर रिसोर्सको सेक्टरको पनि हामीले किन प्रोभिन्स लेभलको चाहिँ किन नबनाउने अथवा त्यो पनि चाहिन्छ। एउटा कुरा त्यसले अलिक ब्रोडली गाइड गर्छ, किनभने हाम्रो इरिगेसन मास्टर प्लानलाई पनि मिट गर्न भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ। अर्को कुरा प्रोग्रामिङ गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो तिनै तहको सरकारसँगै बस्ने चलनै छैन कि। अब यतिसम्म छ कि अब हाम्रोमा मैले एकदम अलिकति बिटर ट्रुथ, कुनै त त्यो पालिकाको त्यो के भन्छ योजनाको नाम ठेगाना फरक परे संशोधन गर्न पर्यो भने पालिकाले वडाले लेख्दिन पनि नलेख्दिने अथवा त्यो खालको हार्मोनाइजेसनै भइसकेको छैन यो पहिलो 5 वर्षमा देखिन्छ। किन त्यो भएको छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो प्लानिङमा गल्ती छ, हाम्रो एलोकेसन इफिसियन्सी एकदमै खराब भएर गएको छ। विशेष गरी ऊर्जा सिँचाइको क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ धेरै नै बिग्रिसकेको छ, एकदमै फ्रेगमेन्टेसन भएको छ प्रोजेक्टहरू। र जुन हाम्रो पहिला आइएमटी जुन हामीले रिजनल अफिसहरूले जुन एउटा हामीले इरिगेसन मोबाइल टिमहरू हुन्थ्यो, यति ठुलो एप्राइजलको प्र्याक्टिसहरू थियो, हाम्रा चाहिँ जुन हाम्रो त्यो गाइडलाइनहरू थिए, त्यो सबै चिजहरू हामी बिस्तारै अहिले डिमान्ड ड्रिभन हिसाबले नजाने जुन हाम्रो त्यो स्ट्यान्डर्ड सेट अफ प्रोसिडर जुन हामीले हाम्रो हिस्ट्रीमा कमाएको थियौँ नि, त्यो चाहिँ अहिले प्रदेशमा चाहिँ फुल्ली कम्प्लाई गर्न चाहिँ सकिएको छैन। टु बी अनेस्ट हाम्रो फ्यामिली मैले कुरा राखेँ। अब यसलाई पनि कसरी कम्प्लाई गर्ने र अलिकति प्लानिङ अलिकति त्यो चाहिँ मा जाने जुन हाम्रो डिफ्रेन्ट प्रोसिडर छ त्यो गर्यो भने चाहिँ यो फ्रेगमेन्टेसन रोकिन सक्छ। र अर्को कुरा इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा पनि मैले भने इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा पनि समस्या छ। जस्तो कि अब त्यही योजना चाहिँ अब कहिले तल जान्छ, कहिले फेरि माथि आउँछ, कहिले माथिबाट तल जान्छ, यो अलिकति समस्या भइरहेछ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यसको क्लियरली त्यसको लागि त पहिला प्लानिङमै क्लियर हुनु पर्यो, कुन प्रोजेक्ट कसले गर्ने भन्ने। यसरी गयो भने ठिक होला। मैले त्यही भएर अघि पनि जोडेको थिएँ, इन्ट्रिग्रेटेड प्लानिङ इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन अथवा इन्ट्रिग्रेटेड एप्रोचमा प्लानिङ गर्नु पर्यो होलिस्टिकल्ली। तर इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन चाहिँ पालिकाले पनि गर्छ, उसको केही पार्ट चाहिँ अब उसले प्रदेशले गर्ने प्रदेशले गर्छ, सङ्घले गर्ने सङ्घले गर्छ, यसरी जानु पर्ला। अब हाम्रो चाहिँ कस्तो समस्या परिरहेछ भन्दाखेरि अब हाम्रा ठुला राष्ट्रिय गौरवका कमान्ड एरियामा प्रदेशलाई चाहिँ योजना मागेर आउँछन् कि अब हामीले त्यो कमान्ड एरियामा इन्टरभेन्सन गर्ने कि नगर्ने, अब यस्तो खालको समस्या। जस्तो अघि उता मुस्ताङमा चाहिँ त्यो प्राइभेट ल्यान्डमा योजना दिने कि नदिने भने जस्तो हाम्रोमा चाहिँ त्यस्तो खालको समस्या आइरहेछ, विशेष गरी तराईको ठुलो त्यो एरियामा। त्यो चिजले त्यस्तो कुराहरू अलिकति तिनै तहको सरकार बसेर यो चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने देख्छु मैले, हार्मोनाइज गर्नुपर्ने। अहिले मैले यति राखेँ।
Okay, thank you. Now, Nabin sir, please.
Thank you, Sanjeev. We also have an irrigation act. It is drafted in 2075. It is in place. but we don't have any irrigation policy at this moment. So what we are doing is we are following the policy of federal government. I fully agree with my colleagues, secretaries, that there is a need of policy harmonization between federal and the provincial government. Not only with the provincial government, but also with the local government, because the local government has also mandate to develop the irrigation project, small irrigation projects. So we need to develop a template, policy template for them. Of the next question is why we are not able to draft the policy. Since federal government is preparing the irrigation policy, so we are planning to draft that policy based on the irrigation policy that will be drafted by the central government. I mean the federal government. So we are waiting for the policy as well as the Water Resources Act of the central government, federal government. So what we are doing at this moment, even though we don't have a policy, we are following the policy which has been given in the federal policy 2070, including some more inclusion on that policy. So what we are doing at this moment is we are in Tarai area, we are focusing on conjunctive use of groundwater and surface water. Everybody's knows it. We are also focusing on the groundwater exploration, especially by power deal and deep well. In hilly areas, we are focusing on the NITP and especially with the lift irrigation project, either from the electricity or from the solar. And we are mainly focusing on the maintenance and rehabilitation of the existing water supply schemes because these are not functioning well. So we are focusing on these maintenance and we have a lot of demand of electrification for irrigation project, especially in the Tarai area. So this is one of the policy we are planning. We are doing these things, but we are planning to include in the policy. म फुल्ली एग्री गर्छु हाम्रो सचिवजीहरु दुईजनालाई भनेको म चाहिँ एग्री गर्छु कि अलिकति प्लानिङ र प्रोग्रामिङहरुमा चाहिँ अलिकति फरक छ, डुप्लिकेसनहरु पनि छन्। त्यसको लागि चाहिँ फेडरल गभर्नमेन्ट र सेन्ट्रल गभर्नमेन्टले बजेट प्लानिङ गर्ने बेलामा नै बसेर चाहिँ छुटाउनु पर्ने हुन सक्छ। हामीले सेन्ट्रल गभर्नमेन्ट फेडरल गभर्नमेन्टलाई चाहिँ एक किसिमको प्रोग्राम र बजेटको रिक्वायरमेन्ट पठाउँछ, त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ अर्कै किसिमको भएर आउँछ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति समस्या चाहिँ छ। त्यही भएर यो समस्या भोलि हामीले पोलिसी बनाए पनि यो समस्या चाहिँ देखिन चाहिँ सक्छ। त्यही भएर चाहिँ यो पोलिसी हार्मोनाइजेसन बिट्विन फेडरल गभर्नमेन्ट एन्ड प्रोभिन्सियल गभर्नमेन्ट र लोकल गभर्नमेन्टसँग पनि अति आवश्यक छ। धन्यवाद सञ्जयजी।
Yes, thank you. We have some questions in chat box also. I would like to request the participant to drop your questions, queries, and feedbacks in the drop box. We'll later address these issues. Now, without taking much time, I would like to enter into the third issue, aspect of discussion. That is regarding the implementation arrangement. So if we see yes, you have already shared there is overlaps, there is duplications, there is some mismatch of implementation. At the same time, if we see the design parameters, the same infrastructure, same type of infrastructure that has been implemented by the different governments is seen different at these positions. So non-uniform implementation, their design parameters adaptation is like mismatch. There is a mismatch between the design parameters, taking design parameters, and additionally, Dr. Santosh already shared one very interesting thing. The provincial government is also planning to implement some larger scale irrigation projects. However, if we see the budget constraint in the provincial level, the resource allocation is quite challenging. I was also a province secretary, and I feel this thing that. So in this context, like, the joint development mechanism, financing and implementation mechanism is essential between the federal and to construct the large irrigation infrastructure jointly. However, this kind of practice has not initiated yet. So in this context, like, what kind of mechanism, joint development mechanism, is required for creating a synergic effect for irrigation development and for the timely completion of the irrigation projects within a estimated cost, desired quality standards, and and to achieve the overall irrigation development goal. So what is your idea in this aspect? So Dr. Kaini, please.
Thank you, sir. As I mentioned earlier, first of all, we should prepare the district-wise master plan of irrigation projects. And then regarding the implementation part, what we are focusing now in this session, now I feel like there's a wide gap between the federal government and province level government as well in terms of implementation and the planning. While we are following the irrigation master plan and those things. So what I feel now is there should be a coordination committee that may consist of like the secretary from the federal ministry, and then the province ministry, and then from the Department of Water Resources and Irrigation, and this from the local bodies as well. The local bodies may enter in the committee as an invitee as well. So first we should clearly mention the type of project this should be taken by the federal, and then the province and the local bodies. As I mentioned earlier, like even a very small projects are also being implemented by the province level governments. So that should not have been done actually. So there should be a committee consist of local bodies, province level, and then the federal level while planning the projects. And then when we go for the implementation part, then if we see at the province level now, there is a very acute shortage of the human resource actually. In Gandaki province, if we see there is a acute shortage, I should say, and then we are still not in a good condition to acquire the permanent staffs because of the this act of the central level and the province level as well. So while implementing the projects, human resource should be developed accordingly in province level as well. And then while for the implementing the small scale irrigation projects as well by the local bodies, we should provide the local bodies with the clear design criteria, we should say, are the fundamental guidelines for the local bodies as well. I should say whether the federal government or the province level government should assist the local bodies for the irrigation projects. And then within the province level as well, due to the budget constraints, I should say, and then due to the shortage of the human resource, we are still not in a good condition, I should say, for the implementation of the irrigation projects with the required quality, because the number of projects are quite large. If we see, even in a single irrigation division, there are more than 200 irrigation projects at the time being. And then it should be handled with one CDE, I should say, the division chief and the 2 engineers maximum. And then there may be the 3 sub-engineers. So if we see from the human resource perspective, the human resources should be fulfilled very soon. And then in terms of the budget, the federal government is supporting the province level government, and then it should also increase the budget for the province level government, and then there should be a clear design criteria set and then given to the local bodies actually.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for the time.
Tulsiji, please.
थ्याङ्क यू। अब गण्डकी सचिवले भनेको कुरा रिपिट नगरिकन मैले एड मात्रै गर्छु है यो इस्युमा। वास्तवमा इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन एरेन्जमेन्टमा पनि धेरै कुराहरू मिलाउनु पर्ने छ। मैले अघि सुरुमा नि भन्न खोजेको थिएँ कि हाम्रो काम गर्ने चाहिँ त्यो के भन्छ स्पेसियल डोमेन चाहिँ एउटै हो, तर हाम्रो चाहिँ काम गर्ने तह चाहिँ फरक भयो। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यसलाई हामीले क्लियरली डिमार्केसन गरेनौँ भने वी गेट लस्ट। त्यो डिरेक्सनमा हामी जान्छौँ, हामी हराउने अवस्था आउँछ। र अर्को कुरा इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा अघि चाहिँ सञ्जीव सरले भने जस्तो मलाई लागेको अब यो साझेदारीमा किन सुरु नगर्ने त? जस्तो कि हामीले सडक क्षेत्रमा गरिरहेछौँ त समपूरक भनेर 50% सङ्घ सरकारले दिन्छ, 50% प्रदेश सरकारले हाल्छ। समपूरकमा हामी बाटाहरू बनाइरहेछौँ भने सिँचाइमा किन नगर्ने त? त्यो कुरा चाहिँ सङ्घीय मिनिस्ट्रीले लिड गर्नु पर्यो। अनि योजना आयोगमा त्यो कुरा गर्नु पर्यो कि ठुला यदि गौरवका हामीले पनि सानो एउटा चाहिँ उता नदीलाई यता डाइभर्ट गर्न सकिन्छ कि भनेर एउटा टेन्टेटिभ हामीले हेरिरहेछौँ। फर इक्जाम्पल जुन चाहिँ दुईटा महाकाली र उसले नभेट्नेलाई त्यस्तो अप्सन अथवा त्यस्ता अरू रिजर्भयरका प्रोजेक्टहरू साना साना अलिकति गर्न सकिन्छ कि त्यस्तो अलिकति दुईटैको ट्रेड अफ हुने र चाहिँ दुईटै अथवा सकिन्छ तिनटै सरकारलाई इन्भल्भ हुने गरी अब प्रोजेक्टहरू त्यसरी डिजाइन गर्नु पर्ला कुनै डेभलपमेन्ट पार्टनरसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि। अर्को कुरा नेपाल सरकारकै बजेटमा पनि यो जुन रोडमा हामी समपूरक गरिरहेछौँ त्यो हिसाबले इरिगेसनमा पनि हामी जानुपर्छ भन्छु मैले एउटा कुरा। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अब इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा अर्को मलाई लागेको चाहिँ अब यो क्लियरली हामीले अब एउटाले जस्तो एउटै खोलामा तिनटाले काम गरेको छ तर त्यसको स्ट्यान्डर्ड फरक छ। त्यही अब भनौँ न त्यो त फरक हुनु भएन नि त। तपाईँले चाहिँ नि राख्ने लन्चिङको त जहाँबाट गरे पनि त्यो खोलाले त त्यही डिमान्ड गर्ने हो नि त, अथवा क्यानलको साइज त त्यही हुनुपर्ने हो। एउटा कुरा त्यो छ। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अब यो इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन एरेन्जमेन्ट चाहिँ अलिकति रोबस्ट नभएको भएर हाम्रो चाहिँ एब्जर्सन क्यापासिटी पनि घट्यो। एउटा त ह्युमन रिसोर्सै छैन, धेरै कम छ प्रदेशहरूमा। त्यसले गर्दा एब्जर्सन क्यापासिटी छैन, एउटा प्लानिङमै फ्रेगमेन्टेसन भयो। त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ प्रोजेक्टले डेलिभरी दिन सकिरहेको छैन। त्यो प्रोजेक्ट कहिले सकिन्छ भनेर भन्न सक्ने अवस्थामै हामी छैनौँ कि एउटै डिभिजनमा 300-400वटा चाहिँ अनगोइङ प्रोजेक्टहरू छन् जुन त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यसलाई प्रायोरिटाइज गर्ने। र अघि मलाई एउटा कुरा चाहिँ के एड गर्न मन लाग्यो भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो गण्डकी सचिवले भनेकोमा जिल्लाको इरिगेसन मास्टर प्लान बनाएर जोडेपछि प्रदेशको हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ होइन है। म चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ बिलिभ गर्दिनँ। जिल्लाको एउटा हुनु राम्रो कुरा हो, तर अब यसलाई अलिकति मैले चाहिँ हामीले अहिले खानेपानीमा एउटा चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट भर्खर खानेपानीसँग हामी
अलिकति छोटो अलिकति हामीले क्वेसनहरू पनि लिनुपर्छ प्लिज।
मैले भन्न खोजेको जस्तो वाटर एन्ड गभर्नेन्स भनेर एउटा प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ खानेपानीमा सुरु हुन लाग्छ। त्यो प्रोजेक्टको कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ मलाई इरिगेसनमा पनि गर्नुपर्छ कि जस्तो किन लाग्यो भन्दा त्यहाँ हामीले एनवास एमआइएस बनाउने भनेको छौँ पालिका लेभलमा। त्यो पालिकाले बनाएपछि बल्ल त्यसको होलिस्टिक प्लानिङ गर्ने सेक्टर वाइड एप्रोचमा अनि बल्ल प्रोजेक्टहरू प्रायोरिटाइज गरेर यो जानुपर्छ भन्छु। त्यो एप्रोच चाहिँ हामीले अब इभन पालिकाको लेभलमा गर्ने हो कि होइन। अहिले ट्रान्सपोर्टको नि मास्टर प्लान पालिकाको भयो कि अब डिस्ट्रिक्टको हामी भनिरहेको छैनौँ। पालिकाको मास्टर प्लान हुन्छ अनि प्रोभिन्सको मास्टर प्लान हुन्छ भनेका छौँ। त्यो हिसाबले अब जाँदाखेरि पालिकालाई लोवर युनिटको मानेर जाँदाखेरि सजिलो होला कि खै केही छैन। यो जिल्लाको कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि ल अहिले मैले यति राखेँ।
ओके थ्याङ्क यू। नवीन सर प्लिज अलिकति टाइम अलिकति हामीले क्वेसन एन्सरमा नि अलिकति टाइम
हस् त सञ्जय धन्यवाद। डेफिनेटली वी निड अ स्पेशल मेकानिजम for timely completion of the project, but main question is that is this mechanism will fully functional? Will it be active? We also have some mechanism in river training projects, but that is not functioning well. Normally 2 times in a year we used to meet and that's finished. So यसरी गर्ने भने त हुँदैन। गर्ने हो भने मेकानिजम चाहिँ कस्तो चाहिन्छ भन्दाखेरि एउटा चाहिँ एक्टिभ र अलिकति पावरफुल मेकानिजम चाहिन्छ जसले चाहिँ प्रोग्रामको प्लानिङ बजेटिङ मोनिटरिङ देखि सबै कुरालाई चाहिँ हेरोस्। एउटा पहिलो कुरो त्यो हो। अर्को कुरा जहाँसम्म प्रोजेक्ट कम्प्लिसन टाइमली र गर्ने कुरा छ त्यसमा चाहिँ सबभन्दा ठुलो कन्सिडर भनेको बजेटै हो। 3 वर्षको प्रोजेक्ट हुन्छ, प्रोजेक्ट कस्ट हुन्छ 7 करोड 8 करोड, पर इयर रिक्वायरमेन्ट हुन्छ 2 करोड, त हामी कति एलोकेट गर्छौँ भन्दाखेरि 30 लाख 40 लाख 50 लाख भन्दा बढी एलोकेटै गर्न सक्दैनौँ। भनेपछि टाइमली कम्प्लिट कसरी हुन्छ? र बजेटको साइज हेर्दाखेरि पनि सेन्ट्रल गभर्नमेन्ट के अरे फेडरल गभर्नमेन्टको बजेटको इरिगेसनको साइज पनि सानै छ भने प्रदेशको बजेटको साइज पनि सानै छ। जस्तै अब प्रदेश नम्बर 1 की कुरा गर्ने हो भने जम्मा सङ्घबाट चाहिँ 1 अरब 34 करोड सिँचाइको लागि छुटेको छ भने प्रदेशबाट चाहिँ 2 अरब 27 करोड गरी 3 अरब 62 करोड छुटाइएको छ। यसमा चाहिँ सिँचाइ पनि कभर गरिएको छ, यसमा चाहिँ नदी नियन्त्रण पनि कभर गरिएको छ, यसमा चाहिँ पहिरो पनि कभर गरिएको छ। अब 3 अरब 62 करोड 14 वटा जिल्ला, त्यसपछि क्षेत्रफल कति भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि 7,83,000 क्षेत्रमा चाहिँ हामीले सिँचाइ पुर्याउनु पर्ने। इज इट पोसिबल? त्यही भएर मेजर कन्स्ट्रेन्ट भनेको चाहिँ मैले देखाएको चाहिँ बजेट नै हो। अब बजेट ल्याउनलाई चाहिँ अब के गर्न सकिन्छ त्यो चाहिँ गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। धन्यवाद।
Okay, thank you. Thank you for wonderful views. But if we see the allocation of the provincial government to the irrigation and water resource sector, it is still in lower side compared to the road sector. So another issue is how to increase the portfolio for the irrigation sector also. So without so thank you for your wonderful views. I would like to go to some questions here in the chat box. First of all, Prachanda sir, thank you so much. And Prachanda sir has highlighted the district to Dr. Santosh Kaini that district is not the part of the federal structures. Why can you not go for the planning at the local government? Yes, this is a feedback. And federal system talks about decentralization, but it sounds to me that province are waiting direction from the federal government. So yes, independently, the federal government can plan and do the works here. So later on, you will address these things in the concluding remarks. And due to the Jitendra Sahani sir has put due to the inter-provincial dispute, Kali Gandaki Tinau diversion project has been filed in Supreme Court. Is there any technical reason or only policy problem? What would be the new strategy? Maybe if Santosh Kaini was involved there, so can you quickly quickly add some points in this question?
Yes, thank you for the question. Actually, as I have worked as a chief of the Kali Gandaki Tinau diversion project for a short time, in my opinion, there should not be any technical reason for the implementation of the Kali Gandaki Tinau diversion project, in my opinion. So regarding the policy problem, it should be somehow a policy problem. I feel like when we were opening the office of the Kali Gandaki Tinau diversion project in Bhutpol, we have not conducted the EIA of the project. So and then there was no intensive interaction with the stakeholders of the Gandaki province as well. And then there is no clear fundamental benefits for the Gandaki province. So after the implementation of the Kali Gandaki Tinau projects, what are the benefits that the Gandaki province is going to get? And what is the benefit for the local people at the project affected area? So it's I should say this is a policy problem rather than the technical problem. Sanjeeb sir, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Actually, we need to, in the days to come, for such kind of diversion project, we need to develop the benefit sharing mechanism and procedural issues, and also like how these kind of projects will be developed to minimize the conflict in the days to come. Thank you for wonderful view. And Mahendra sir, thank you so much for very long feedback. I would briefly share Mahendra sir's views. The federal department should be mentally prepared to give more authority scope to provincial ministry, and the province should make up mind to play a guardian role or guiding role for the local governments. Yes, true federal structure or federalism you have been thinking, which is very nice. For the federal concept to survive and thrive, province must be strengthened, who will play an effective role in harmonizing all type of policy and implementation on devolutions. If province, for example, prepares to take up to say 2,000 hectare scope Sunkachi Morong irrigation, Sunsari Morong irrigation command area, the federal department should be prepared to give the permission by program and policy by policy and legal provisions. So lead should be taken by the province who can harmonize between the federal and local governments. There are many anomalies in the transition phase. Don't panic. It will take some time to soften the differences. Thank you, Mohan sir. Actually, we need to think about the capacity building of the provincial and local governments. And in transition phase, there will be like some questions. But in the days to come, we need to think the overall aspects. Yes. Thank you. Our distinguished panelists will touch upon these issues during the closing remarks. And Haridatta Paudel also give a very wonderful feedback. The time has come for each provincial government to make an intensive irrigation inventory or irrigation master plan, or to find out the following status: identify the command area extension, identify the seasonal irrigation projects to convert into the year-round irrigation, groundwater development area identification and development, lift irrigation command area identification and development. Thank you, Harishar. So we are almost at the end. Thank you, panelists, for your wonderful view. It is a very nice discussion. At last, I would like to request our distinguished panelists to highlight only 2 bullets, key takeaways, key way forward from these discussions in these 3 aspects. So, Santoshi, please, we have only 8 minutes remaining, so 2 minutes maximum for you.
Thank you, sir. First, I should say the Federal Irrigation Act that will guide the provinces and local bodies. Another one is the formation of the irrigation master plan from the local bodies and the district level and the province level, with the project-wise priorities, which projects should be conducted by the local bodies and the province and the federal level, and the guidelines for the local bodies and the, I should say, the human resource and budget for the province level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Now, Tulsiji, please.
Thank you. सन्तोष सरले भनेकोमा धेरै एड गर्नुपर्ने छैन। मैले एउटा कुरा भनेको अब हामीले इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन पछिको एस्पेक्ट पनि हेर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। यो इरिगेसन इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाएर मात्रै हुँदैन, यो एसेटको म्यानेजमेन्ट एकदम ठुलो चुनौती हो र त्यसको हामीले अप्टिमम बेनिफिट लिने कुरालाई र सस्टेनेबिलिटी कुरालाई पनि हेर्नुपर्छ भन्ने मैले एड गरेँ। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ रिपोर्टिङ। अब नेसनल फ्रेमवर्कमा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब रिपोर्टिङ पनि टुटिसकेको छ के। अब त्यो चाहिँ कसरी यसलाई इनलाइन गर्ने हो, एउटा प्लेटफर्मै बनाउने हो कि यो चिजलाई पनि ख्याल गर्नुपर्छ भन्छु। च्यालेन्जेसहरू छन्, त्यसलाई कोप गर्न सकिन्छ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Nabin sir, please.
Sanjeevji, in my opinion, there should be a joint mechanism with clear mandate as well as the elaborated mandate, so that they can function fully. Another is that allocate the appropriate budget based on the project cost as well as the phase of the construction. And third one is do not pick up the project on a political basis. Pick up the project based on the demand, least cost, and that contributes the year-round irrigation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very briefly, I think it is a very nice discussion and very wonderful views from distinguished panelists. To sum up, the Federal Irrigation Act should be in place, guiding overall province and federal structures. Irrigation master plans, overall central master plan, as well as provincial level and local level master plans, which clearly demarcate the jurisdiction and their focus. This is required, and the guidelines for design guidelines, design guidelines, standards need to be prepared by the federal government, which can be communicated to the provincial as well as local governments. So that is a very wonderful idea. And sustainability during the operation and maintenance phase also need to be considered. Tulsiji put very wonderful views. So the construction as well as operation phase need to be considered at the initial stage. And thank you, Navin sir. We need to create a functional joint mechanism that will clear with a clear mandate. Elaborated mechanism should be there for joint investment, joint development, and joint operation. So which we need to define what need to be done by which government, and overall sustainability issue, and resource allocation. The portfolio of the irrigation water resource sector need to be increased to achieve the overall targets that is stipulated by the master plans and our plans. And finally, the threshold should be clear from the master plan as well as from the practice also, because if we are not ready to hand over the projects that belongs to the provincial government to the province, then it will not be effective. So we need to change our mindset, as shared by the Mahendra sir also. We need to be open to hand over to strengthen provincial and local governments for overall to achieve the overall irrigation development targets. So thank you so much for these discussions, and all the audience, about 40 participants joined throughout the discussions. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to hand over this floor to the organizer for discussion about the next episode. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjeeb sir. I will share my screen now. Okay, then now next episode is the episode 18 of the NENCID Talk program. And the next episode will be the management of information system in water sector, learning from wash sector. This will be held on 12th Poush 2079 Bikram Shamma, which was 27 December 2022 at 8 p.m. Nepal time. And the speaker will be Dr. Rajit Oja, who is the Senior Divisional Engineer from Department of Water Supply. We request all of you to join this event. The meeting ID and password is shown in the screen. We will share the information or the joining link on our Facebook page, and also to email all the members of the NENCID. Thank you all for joining in, and have a nice and good evening. Thank you so much. Good night.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you, everyone.
धन्यवाद,
Thank you.
नमस्कार.
साथीहरु
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद सबैलाई, नमस्कार. Bye.